Minnows versus Giants. David versus Goliath. We have one Taguig, one of our titans, you can even say, in the Philippines Football League. And we've got Don Bosco Garelli United out to spring up a surprise. It's match number 71 in your Philippines Football League 2025-26 season. And we are coming to you from the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium. As always, thank you for joining us, of course, on our social media pages. Alongside Glenn Casas, this is Claro Manzano. We'll be keeping you company, of course, in this main game in our Sunday triple header this February. Temperatures, of course, continue to be a bit pleasant right here. It's the month of February before things will literally and figuratively heat up with summer just around the corner. And we have a look at our season standings. Glenn, what are your impressions?
Well, so far, when you are looking at the Big Four, you're always expecting that one of them would be at top. And one Taguig right now, one of the teams that's competing for this final match this evening, is certainly in a good position to, just take things from the back and even gain the #1 spot. There's still a lot of games to be played. But looking at the bottom half of this table, Don Bosco Garelli has really been what we could say really struggling, because they have, despite getting 3 points, have not really shown that they have made improvements or strides yet. But we're hoping it changes.
They were hoping, of course, that things would get going after they got their win, of course, in this season. But the top four sitting relatively pretty as we look at the previous game between Garelli and one Taguig. It's a double round robin before we head over to the championship round. And this is the matchup that we are looking at. Mark Hartman setting up the ball well for Patrick Reichelt.
And you could see that the defense there was having some difficulty marking their man. You could really see that they weren't even moving towards the ball to intercept. So I think that when it comes to the mindset, when it comes to how they play things out, and the confidence to just get to their man, be a bit more aggressive, it's something that they really need.
Plenty of former national team players right here for one Taguig. That's hundreds of caps put together if you are able to total them. And you see, of course, that they are just flexing their might. And what more? We're saying, of course, there's a great number of former players. They have reinforcements, of course, with a great number of foreigners here.
Well, when it looks at from the looks of that, the influx of the national team members or team players that are part of the squad has really brought up the quality. And one Taguig started from a team that you'd think would be competing at the bottom of the top area, the bottom of the top table. They're now really competing at around the top spot itself. They have just as better a chance, or as good a chance, as the rest of the top four right now.
Straight out of the box, actually, one Taguig have just been competitive from their inaugural PFL season. They went on to, of course, take a massive victory right here versus Garelli. There's even a penalty to show for it. What are highlights? Of course, we're just wrapping things up, and we are going to take things on, of course, to the next phase of our discussion. With this matchup again between one Taguig and Don Bosco Garelli, we are going to dissect the two teams, of course, to show you what's in store in this upcoming matchup. First and foremost, let's get to it with one Taguig. So far, so good, you could say, Glenn, because they are inside that top 6.
Yes, they are. And they are in a good position to just springboard. They have been, well, there have been some results that could have gone their way that did not for one Taguig. But at the same time, they counted, or they made it count where it mattered most. And that is when they went up against the big teams. If memory serves me right, they have taken a win out of the league leaders themselves, putting them in a good position to not just overtake them, but to really challenge for something better than just placement.
With this one Taguig side, of course, Stefan Shark, a player to look out for. He is playing in that attacking midfield role in that 4-2-3-1 of theirs. Here's a look, and Milos Chupic will continue to man the posts for them as goalkeeper.
Yeah, and really heavy emphasis here on the strength of the midfield coming from this team, especially with the quality that they can certainly really just control that ball right in midfield and create chances as they go along. This is one scary midfield that you see.
We're talking about Stefan Chirac being a player to look out for again right here for one Taguig. Regardless of who gets him, he is going to make waves, of course.
And we've all seen it before. He has changed his playing style from the person who really loves to take the ball and take the players on to somebody who's more patient, more willing to wait. But you could always see his vision, the passing that he does, and being the midfield maestro that he is, he's in the best position.
Stefan Chirac, after all, a former Bundesliga player, former captain of the Philippines. But there you go. First, we are going to jump to our coach interview with one Taguig.
Okay, so for today's match, of course, we expect to get the 3 points for Bosco Garelli. We are going to prepare also for our big game against Kaya next week. So, of course, we need to respect our opponent. We're respecting Bosco Garelli, and this is a good match for us also. So for Bosco Garelli, for sure, they will very eager to get the 3 points. But for us, we need to win this game and working again to be para makabalik kami sa top ng table. So the team is very prepared, no, for this week match. May nilatag na namin yung mga dapat namin gawin, and then hopefully ma-execute nila properly, and then of the day sila yung nasa loob ng field. The idea is there, and yeah, hopefully we get the 3 points today.
There you go, Coach Arvin Soliman, giving us some interesting insights heading into this game again. You cannot have an off day right here, of course, in the Philippines Football League. One Taguig, our preview done and dusted. Let's head over to Don Bosco Garelli United. They sit in number 10 at the moment. And as we were saying, it's been rough sailing, but when are they going to get out of these choppy waters? It's hard to tell.
And one of the very first things that you would think is that they lack the quality of players. Well, it is true that they can need reinforcement here and there, some tweaks. It's not really the shortage of talent, because Garelli has some players that we've seen play in other areas or in other competitions, and they have flourished in said competitions as well. So for Don Bosco Garelli to have for you to say that the players are inexperienced, it's really an incorrect statement.
As we've said again, they're out to spring off that surprise. After all, you could say they got to shake off those chains, because they have a win to show already in this season. But that's the discussion for for Don Bosco Garelli. They will be lining up in the 4-3-3. They have a great number of familiar names, actually, come to think of it. You have a number of UAP standouts. We'll get into detail over the course of the game. But a player we can look out for will be Jerome Abarca, who was actually recently with UE in the UAP, or the college ranks.
And that's the thing. One of the main advantages of young teams such as Don Bosco Garelli is they have the ability to take players, young players like Jerome Abarca, from the UAAP. So you would have that potential ladder, plus the youthfulness of these players, in order to take some advantages with you into upcoming games. He's going to come with speed. He's going to come with some readiness there, eagerness to show that he is ready for the big leagues. So we can't wait to see what happens.
It will be a tough task here for Jerome Abarca, because he is squaring off again with the experienced players of one Taguig. But there you go. We'll take it to our coach interview for Don Bosco Garelli.
So we have a lot of respect with one Taguig, especially of what good things they done for this season. So we expect that they will also respect us and give us their best, because we will always give our best in the game. So the team is expecting to perform what we have learned from our last game and keep on improving, and we will focus more on balancing our attack and defense, because I think that's our weakness, to balance that one. And I hope everyone will enjoy the game, and we will have a good game today. Thank you.
There you go, all set up here. We are just nearing our pre-match protocol. All to play for at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can't really be wasteful when it comes to the 3 points. And we've seen it, and not just in the Philippine League, but overseas as well, where the seemingly leading teams would drop points to teams that you really won't expect. And that usually happens if there's this element of surprise, underestimation, or whatnot. You cannot rest on your laurels.
It's football after all. The ball is round, as they say. The 3 points is never given by default. We have 90 minutes to determine things, of course. Once again, it's Juan Taguig and Don Bosco Garelli who will square off. Do continue to stay with us, of course. They are just sorting things out in the tunnel. And an interesting thing here, Glenn. It is the last game of our triple header this football Sunday. Wala pa tayong clean sheet.
Could this be another one of those? And we would love to see no clean sheets today, because that is just a sign of really aggressive football on both sides.
Let's see, of course. Juan Taguig and Garelli, their goalkeepers want to go home happy. The only times that both goalkeepers go home happy is when it's a goalless draw. Let's just put the obvious out there. But there you go. All to play for. And let's welcome our players in a bit. In tune to the Philippines Football League anthem. It's Juan Taguig and Don Bosco Garelli united right here on this fine evening.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Juan Taguig FC and Don Bosco Garelli United.
Your team captains, o mga captain natin ngayong gabi. We've got Daisuke Sato and Banjo Mahinay left and right respectively. Lipat naman tayo sa match officials. Si Crismel Cayabyab ay ang referee natin ngayon. Ang kanyang assistant referees ay sila Ryan Flores at Hamid Pasion. Si Jesus Abogado ay ang fourth official. Ang referee assessor ay si Ravelo Salorian. Ms. Ira Ilan ang ating match commissioner. Glad to have you with us as always for the continuing coverage dito po sa Philippines Football League. Clara Manzano alongside Glenn Casas. Smiles and focus here from the two teams before we kick this one off. Let's head over to our starting lineups once more, which we got to dissect.
And again, we still have a very stacked midfield here from Juan Taguig FC, looking to control that ball, make those decisive passes, and then again, you have the quality of the strikers in front to take that shot.
You'll have Sooma and Naotohiro Ishii to complement the locals or the Filipino players that they have listed here. Lipat naman tayo over to Don Bosco Garelli United playing the 4-3-3.
And Don Bosco is still in the stages of finding the football identity that they have, but they have three players up front, three players in the middle. Looks like they want to control the field in every spot.
Your game changers, of course, you also see Jack Zambrano listed, who jumped over to from Valenzuela PB Menjola, had a significant stint with Cebu. But we are going to kick this one off with Garelli. They will be in orange. One Taguig will be in dark blue. We are just awaiting time, of course. Kickoff is on the dot. It is the last game again this evening. Here we go, kickoff time. Will it be no clean sheet today when you refer to the 3 matches as a whole, or will we see a clean sheet again? We raised that question. As we mentioned, we've got Garelli in orange, trying to start off strong. One Taguig in dark blue. Taguig playing from left to right, Garelli from right to left. You like the intention there from Garelli. As that underdog, they wanted to push the pedal to the metal right away and get an early goal.
One of the ideal scenarios that they can do is to break spirits of One Taguig early by scoring that goal while they least expect it.
The element of surprise, that's what they call it. Speaking of element of surprise, not what they intended there, flooring Stefan Schrock less than 60 seconds into the game. Stefan Schrock just scored their game winner actually versus Maharlika. That was in their last game day. Let's remember, Schrock was actually with Stallion for the first half of this season. Aldeguer cleared off by Hayato Kame. Kame getting this opportunity to prove himself, as Reichelt could not meet this cross well. Traore gets the stop along with Ayan Edie. So Oma dribbling through wins a free kick in a delightful area.
And again, it's the midfield that's really giving them problems here. Don Bosco had to put a stop to it as early as they can, but so Ome moving too close for comfort.
And look at the Japanese midfielder. You remember that Sato and Friends group with Aguilas when they were still known as Davao Aguilas. Sato. So Oma did jump ship, also with Shoma Sato, but Shoma Sato now playing overseas. This one just sails over though for Mark Hartman.
Very uncharacteristic of him, knowing that this is his prime spot, but it's still the early stages of the game, so maybe he just needed to still get a little bit more warmed up.
But being true competitors, regardless of side, you want to nail things every single time, of course, when you get an opportunity like that. Hartman, after all, the league leader in assists with 12 to his name. Roughly an assist per game. Here they come now. It's looking dangerous. Onto the left. Shot taken here. It's no good though for Eugene Ariola, the former FEU Tamarao.
Ariola should have done better there, but the play leading to that, the passage of play on the right side, you saw that they tried to get away from the defense, and they managed to do so despite the number of people marking the winger. And that pass, wow, they've just found Ariola.
It's about making every single opportunity count again, as we've mentioned. Makoto to Hartman. Mark Hartman will be the facilitator. There's also Ali, who was looking to get forward on the overlap, but they are just bringing this up slowly but surely. It seems that they're going to take that systematic approach in wearing down their opponents.
The thing here is if Don Bosco would have the fitness, because that's one of the really important ingredients missing from the teams that are on the bottom half of the table versus the ones on the top half. It's that come around the final 10 minutes of the game, you'd really see them struggling for air. They're no longer as fast.
Ali couldn't reach it. Secured by Katarinin. Katarinin, we are familiar with again. Had his stint with Aguilas Yumak. He is from Masbate also. It's the feeling out stage here from our two teams.
Although despite it's still just the initial exchange of blows, right now Don Bosco seemed to be the sharper of the two teams.
It was a 7-0 victory for Taguig over Don Bosco Garelli United. They last squared off on November 30. The goal scorers, Reichelt, Daisuke Sato, and Goldson, each with a brace. Isaac Agyemang also added a goal of his own. That was a bit loose from Shotaro Ishii. Threading with danger here. Shraki tried to take on Banjo Mahinay, the captain. Put to the back by Kai. Chupic will return it to them. Here's the long ball. Now to Hiraishi. Great touch to secure. Daisuke Sato takes a fall. No call here from Crismel Kayabyab.
Then that overlap coming from Sato, really quick for that winger to just do that run, get to that ball first. Really unfortunate with the contact though, but they still managed to get the corner.
Free kick, corner kick, all of the above. It's Mark Hartman.
He just needs to pick a spot, land it well, and the team needs to do the rest.
He makes it look easy, pero alam natin mahirap yan. Pina-practice nila yan, or they practice it.
Especially when you have to put the spin on that ball to make it curve.
Shraki from Ali, quick shift of direction. Will play it to Andres Aldeguer. Couldn't get it to Patrick Reichelt. Has space to operate though against Katarinin. Looks like I spoke too soon. Pete Forosuelo. Too late here. Broby almost won it. Broby also the foreign student athlete for UE a few seasons back in the UAAP. Played one season coming out of the pandemic. He's a fixture now in the PFL. Heavy touch. They almost got it to go. They're mounting up the pressure now. And as I say that, Shraki and Taguig are mounting a response. Yasira Ishii on the left, Reichelt on the right. Andres Aldeguer now occupying the center. Here is a cross whipped in.
Reichelt really being given a lot of responsibility by the manager there to move in and out of space.
It's with Reichelt once more, back in his usual center. Sato takes it, sails over though. I thought you were going to mention by the assistant team manager of the Philippine national team also. That's the role also of Patrick Reichelt since he retired from international football, right?
Yeah, and, you know, he is one of the really experienced veterans that we have. So whatever wisdom or knowledge that he has brought with him certainly helps him, especially in his professional career.
9 goals and counting for Patrick Reichelt in this PFL season. Play resumed by Shotaro Ishii. Ishii also manned the posts in Garelli's matchup against Taguig earlier in this season. On to the left now. Hiraishi. Back to Sato. Shiraki. Got to break free for a moment. Naoto once more. We blinked our eyes. Tas nandun na siya bigla. Or he was there. They get to clear it. Yuta Yamaguchi. Tried to play it over to the right side, but to no avail.
That left side is really starting to become Stefan Schrock's territory when he's there. Just makes the passes look real good despite the difficulty.
Here's a looping ball. Here's Reichel trying to take on Mahinay. Mahinay has been with this team ever since they entered the PFL, the different PFL competitions. We're only mentioning the PFL part, but what more? He's been involved also, even before. Or as they say, mga OG sa team nila. You need those cornerstones, of course, to build any squad.
PFL itself has had a lot of experience, has a lot of years behind it, but Philippine football in general has been around slightly longer.
That's why you gotta give credit also to Mahinay, not just from the start of the time Garelli joined the different PFL competitions. So Oma on the floor, a warning issued to Hayato Kame. The two Japanese midfielders trying to go at it.
Oh, yeah, that was a little bit too rough there, and sliding in from behind, Ome. Yeah, he was lucky he got away with just a warning.
But with that, it is a chance to whip in a service. Hartman once more, quality ball. Shiraki lobbing it in. Sato! There you go, first blood, one Taguig in the 12th minute.
Wow, that was beautifully placed there by Stefan Schrock, finding a teammate, and who else to turn it in but Daisuke Sato. The national team connection between the two still exists, and the connection is still strong in this one.
The bits and pieces, left, right, center of one Taguig, flexing their technical prowess. This was the display.
And look at how Stefan Schrock just looks at the ball, not at the man. He knows where Daisuke Sato would be placed. He was trusting his teammates that they would make themselves available for that. Nice placement there. Sato making a split-second stop, positioning himself, then the header. Beautifully done.
Shiraki and Sato actually with UEFA experience when it comes to club football, given the different countries they got to play for, or the different clubs in Europe they got to play for. For Sato, particularly club football in Romania.
You could really tell that they have a lot of confidence when it comes to handling that ball under pressure. So that's the top quality for you.
First blood in the 12th minute here for one Taguig. We'll play this one back. Garelli will reset.
One of the flavors for this triple header Sunday is that a lot of the teams that were supposed to score more has taken more than the usual amount of time to breach the defenses of their opponents. But this time, it was as early as the 11th minute for one Taguig to just breach open. And Stefan Schrock was the one who brought the can opener with him.
Anong laman ng delata? I'm sorry. But once more, just like that, it's an opportunity for Hartman to send something forward. You see them crowding the left side in particular. Shiraki and Reichel there. Off the head of Shiraki. Shotaro Ishii secured.
Easy read for the keeper to get that ball while it was up in the air.
Sato to Hartman. Forosuelo opens up at the back. Hartman telling them to play to the left. Garelli looking to stay compact. They have Kai Kimura to lead them up front. We're also highlighting pre-game. There is Jerome Abarca for Garelli, but he has his hands busy. He has to deal with Sato and Naoto Hiraishi. Here's the clearance. They get it to Eugene Ariola. He is playing wing today, but is helping out at the back. Ariola, as we know, a natural defender.
He was actually listed as a defender on the starting list, so him being placed up high means that they put a value on his shooting and ability to finish.
Also shifty and confident with the ball when you refer to Eugene Ariola. That's what he got to display in his UAAP days. But it's always a challenge whenever a amateur or collegiate player turns pro, as we know, regardless of sport. So the challenge now issued to a new batch of collegiate players who are entering the PFL. There's been a good number as of late. And going back, that goal of Daisuke Sato is his 4th of the season. Off of Pete Forosuelo. Ali just put it back into the mix. Shraki trying to clean up. Ran into Hayato Kame. It's Mark Hartman trying to do the same. Forosuelo from Sato. So Hayato Kame has that massive task of playing central midfield in that 4-3-3 of Garelli. Kayame figured with Minjola, Tigger, and Stallion. Right before his stop here with Garelli.
And that is a really pivotal role, because him being in the middle of midfield would mean that they would have to feed the ball to him, and he would be the one to find those little pockets of space to put the ball through.
And even on defense, it's up to him to dictate the pace against a team like One Taguig, a high-octane team, we will say.
And again, we have to put emphasis on the quality of the midfield that One Taguig possesses.
Supich having to move forward. Kay Akoto. "17 minutes into this game. It's 1-0 thanks to Daisuke Sato's goal in the 12th minute. It's with Naoto Hiraishi. Got to cut it back, but that ball to Reichelt was denied. It was Traore, to be precise, who came up with a timely stop. But before we resume play, Michael Broby is down on the pitch.
It looks like medical attention is required for this.
And I believe this happened on his own when you refer to Michael Broby.
Looks like he's going to be sidelined for a little short while here. And right now, they're on the defensive. So it's a disadvantage for Don Bosco Garelli.
NV11. You could say it's a power play for One Taguig. Hiraishi, a live wire doing as expected. They try to negotiate now. Shraki comes out of nowhere. Hartman pokes it back.
Living a bit dangerously there next to Stefan Schrock.
Hartman, options all over the place. Reichelt thought about making a run for it, but will give it to Aldeguer out wide. Aldeguer really more of that striker up front, but he's been able to adapt and secure a wing spot of his own in the starting 11 of theirs. Time continues to tick. We are almost 25% into this game. It's 1-0 for One Taguig over Don Bosco Garelli. Shotaro Ishii's goal kick just goes out. Unforced errors. These can hurt you, as we know and as we say.
And we've seen it time and time again.
Aldeguer in the middle. Over to Daisuke Sato. The 1-2-1 with Hiraishi. I spoke too soon. The two playing off of one another. Naoto shoots. Took a deflection also. Ali. Hartman had the intention to return it wide. Ariola pushing it forward. And Takoto once more. Just a ball winner there for them.
Trying to look for Kimura there. That pass, unfortunate. Parang hinihintay ni Ariola na mag full sprint si Kimura with that run. For a really wasted opportunity.
It's with Shraki. Hiraishi to Sato. We've been seeing plenty of those here. There was the push. That's why referee Crismel Kayab says there's a free kick on the left. The foul is against Ian Edie. He's Filipino-Scottish.
Have a look at it here. He's already gotten left behind by Sato, but when Sato took a pause there to put his head up, Edie was just right on behind him.
Edie pulling Sato's jersey right there. Let's see if they will go full circle at the end of the season with a jersey swap of their own. Free kicks, corner kicks, all over the place for One Taguig. It's Hartman, the usual suspect, to take this.
He's always the favorite.
Do you like this one with it being close, or is it too close relative to a corner kick?
Now that would be a big challenge for Hartman because you really need to have that dip if you want that to fall under. No dip.
Here they come. It only hit the side netting. Both sides saying it's their ball.
But you know, that kind of cross right there is quite difficult, especially if you're more closer to the free kick taker than on the other side of the post.
We'd like to remind you that Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the PFL. It's 1-0 for those who just tuned in. Daisuke Sato opened the scoring in the 12th minute. Reichelt just securing this one. He's got pressure on him. Reichelt had to play it back because Traore was on him. Forosuelo. Ali. Reichelt just able to get this one. Got to beat Katarinin. Foul here though outside of the goalkeeper area as that ball was met by Shotaro Ishii.
And that was really easy for Ishii to have read even without the foul, but you would see the run coming from the two attackers getting a little bit too close.
One Taguig just scored their 48th goal of the season actually when you refer to that effort from Daisuke Sato. But Kaya FC Iloilo are the first team to breach the 50-goal mark. Kaya, the defending champs, 59 goals scored and counting. We are including the 9 goals that they scored earlier. Our match ball will just be swapped briefly right here.
Kulang yata sa hangin.
Nothing wrong with Sports Tribe. It's just the pressure that is inflated into the ball, just to be clear. Hiraishi from Sato. Targets inside the goalkeeper area. Yamaguchi trying to take on Shraki. Hartman. That was stopped by Traore. Gets it Eugene Ariola. Trying to launch the counter. Come off here of Kimura.
Kimura was counting on that run from Abarca. He just heads it in the path, but the defender was just close to it as well. It became a foot race. Unfortunate for Abarca. He got overtaken. But still another opportunity for Don Bosco.
A referee eventually says it is a free kick here in the midfield. Who will deliver the goods here for Garelli? Garelli are coming off a 6-0 defeat to KFC Iloilo. They did get some rest though. They're keeping this on. Shots taken. It's eventually intercepted by Chupic.
Ariola saw that it was going to be bouncing close to him, but it wasn't fast enough, and down. Robbie again getting called a foul in that area.
Taking the physicality to Mark Hartman.
I mean, good old Filipino introduction.
Hartman, Filipino. Robbie, though, Ghanaian, but he's been in the Philippines for some time. Forosuelo from Akoto. Ali had the intention to play long. It was blocked by Eugene Ariola.
Ali was waiting for a little bit there.
Sato also showing us his shiftiness right there. Nearing the half-hour mark already in this game. Taguig currently in control. They are in their blue uniforms. Garelli in orange and black. They give it to Ali. Gets it to the direction of Reichelt. Traore there to stop him. Kame having to escape danger. First a touch from Kimura, but heavy. Eugene Ariola gets it into a promising area now. Just flicked over to the right. Here we come. It's Jerome Abarca. Gets his pocket picked here by Akoto.
Abarca had plenty of space and opportunity to just take the ball forward. Unfortunate that he got intercepted. All that space wasted away so quickly.
Close look at Sato again, our goal scorer. Possession 69-31 right here.
And it's really not a big wonder because you could see Taguig has really been holding the ball right in that middle field. And now look at that beautiful pass there. Almost.
It's read well by the defense again though. That back line of Garelli consists of Catarini, Traore, Banjo Mahina, and Ayan Iri. Iraishi, Shiraki. Stopped by Mahinay. Hartman. It's whistled against him. He has that rivalry of sorts brewing with Michael Brobbey.
I think the earlier knock is starting to get a little bit more up and close, up and personal.
The pushes just get a little bit heavier as every minute passes in this game. And Glenn, we are only nearing the half-hour mark.
Dami pang football.
An eternity, you could say. So got it to Shiraki now. Is calling for it back. He'll hold the play though. Shiraki to Aldeguer. Ali, the Filipino-Egyptian. Akoto. A switch here. Aldeguer has Reichelt. The cross Not as crisp as Andres intended. So Oma. With us mentioning one Taguig in dictating possession, you see the bursts that Garelli are able to get it. They just launch at the counter. Taguig able to clamp them down. Here's that counter once more. Ali took a fall.
A little entanglement with Ariola.
They play it quickly now. Reichelt. Poked away by Traore. At the 30-minute mark already. Let's just recap the Philippine football calendar of sorts. In March, the women's national team, the Filipinas, will be playing in Australia at the Asian Cup. They will look to make it back to the FIFA Women's World Cup, which will be in Brazil. It is also in March, Glenn, if I'm right, the Philippine men's national football team will travel over to Tajikistan. That is a must-win game in hopes of making it back to the Asian Cup. The Philippines missed the bus for the 2023 Asian Cup, as we recall. There's the Hyundai Cup, which will also be later in this year, about August, September.
So in other words, we have a fully stacked football calendar for Philippine football this year, just like last year.
Just like last year, of course. Ang nangyari last year kasi halos eat-all-you-can buffet with Philippine football action. It's with Ariola. Tried to score the ball, but Acoto, just a ball winner, left and right. Because we had that break again at the end of last calendar year. This is a dangerous ball in. Stopped there by the team effort, quick touches. There's the Southeast Asian Games, the FIFA Futsal Women's World Cup.
And you know, the one thing I really have liked compared to, like, for example, 5 years ago, is that the calendar has started to become a little congested. Sure, it will pose some issues with some players, especially with availability, fitness, and all of that. But overall, in general, for the benefit of Philippine football, that's all good.
As we know, a route to improving the level of the sport is playing competitive games. Hindi lang yung mga practice game or tune-up game. But it's moments like these. It's an official tournament. My referees, the cameras are here, the lights are on. Your opponent breathing down your neck.
And there has to be something at stake. That's the important.
There you go. PFL field with 11 teams, of course. It's been growing bit by bit, slowly but surely.
Who knows? We might be on our way to more teams and possibly a second division, hopefully, in the future.
Let's see how things will go, of course. Hartman brings it in. Goal number 2 here for One Taguig. They doubled their lead in the 33rd. Now it's the chaos. Let's try to check who scored that. Initially, it looks like it's Pete Potosuelo. Let's hold on, of course.
From the looks of it here, the delivery, you don't always have to be 100% with your delivery, but when that one comes in, look at how beautiful that was placed.
Ooh. No, it looks like it's off of Acoto, but whenever it's a free kick and you've got Mark Hartman, fasten your seatbelts. Confirmed, of course. Our goal scorer is Frank Acoto.
Towering over the defenders and, you know, using that height advantage as well, plus that aggression to take it, because he had to jump over 2 defenders that were trying to vie for the ball.
I think he even had to jump over some of his teammates. They had a great number of runners going for the post. Traore is on the ground. He appears to be in pain. In the 34th minute, we are closing in on additional time in the first half. You still see the fine-tuning from One Taguig. It is a great sign. Shraura is A-OK to continue. 2-0, you're One Taguig. You want to stay the course and carry on the creativity and effort on the attack. What if you were Garelli in this situation?
You would really want to just keep it going, keep the pressure on, but you really also have to look at other games as well, the health, the overall fitness of your players. So you'd be a little bit worried if you could still keep pushing it.
Again, if there are any tiebreakers at the end of the season, if teams are tied on points, goal difference will be the next one. It's goals scored less goals conceded. So again, Glenn, with this tournament format, a bit new to the PFL, but not new to the footballing world as a whole. So first, there's the double round robin. Teams will get to play against each other twice, and then they will break out their teams into two groups. The top 6 advance to what is called the championship round. And then teams 7 and below, that's all the way up to 11, will feature in the classification round. So this third stage, it's a single round robin. Nagki-carry over yung results. Results carry over. So after that single round robin with the top 6, whoever finishes on top will be our champion. The top 2 again will book tickets to play international football at the club level. So you want to enter that championship round with as many points as possible. Para lamang kayo, syempre, may advantage.
Of course. And it's not just pride that is at stake as well, but the opportunity for you to test your mettle against top teams of other countries para lang makita natin kung saan na nakarating ang football na sariling atin. And that's one of the best things to do, represent your country at the club level.
Here's Reichelt. Sato. Cross was denied by Ian Edie. And speaking of this overseas club football experience, the great players of One Taguig do have that experience. But One Taguig, a new club, but you see they are ambitious. They want to play in that level. Nakay Shrock. Reichelt. Reichelt's ball intercepted. Mayoriola Pete Forosuelo sends it even further though. And it's with Hartman. He just puts himself at the right place at the right time. Poked away from Reichelt though. Katarinin. Tight spot. Hayato Kame. Well, they were just overwhelmed by the midfield of One Taguig. Cleared off by Mahinay.
And that's the scary thing about the midfield of One Taguig. They are just as venomous on defense as they are on offense. And you can see that they can press really high and crowd you up and know how to do the tackle properly, that they could get the ball in the right and the bad, worst places to do so.
38 minutes so far into this contest. One Taguig in blue. They lead 2-0. Daisuke Sato opened things again in the 12th minute. And afterwards, Frank Akoto doubled their lead. That's the situation so far. Garelli looking to hold on at the least heading into the halftime break. Seven minutes remaining until additional time. If only you could come up with a heat map of the free kicks of One Taguig so far in this game. And that tells a story. Hartman took it low. Hiraishi. It just sailed over the bar.
Diyan sa heat map na sinasabi mo, sa theoretical heat map, you'd see yung ang daming red spots paikot sa box. Kasi yung kulang na lang ngayon, penalty.
Hindi naman nag-overheat yung mga heat map, di ba? Sa mga gumagawa ng graphics.
Eh, ano lang naman yan? Color representation lang naman.
I like that answer. It's Sooma. Andres Aldeguer gets it inside the goalkeeper area. Try to be cheeky. The intention was there. Execution just letting him down by just a bit.
Yeah, and that was mostly because he was on a full sprint run. Nakikipaghabulan siya sa defender ng Don Bosco, and he really had to. He had no chance to put the brakes on. Just had to pull the trigger and deliver that cross in any way that he can.
Shotaro Ishii resumes. When it seems with just every goal kick or a clearance or long ball, it ends up with a blue shirt here. It's still with Sato, got the release. Quality ball there nonetheless. Eugene Ariola just gets down on the ground on his own. I'm not sure if he's holding on to his abdomen or down low.
Parang wala naman tayong nakitang impact so far. So it could be just from really overexerting yourself.
It's situations like that, of course, that always concern us. Where you just take the ground on your own. Time continues to tick here. Players of Manila Digger catching the action also in the stands. Don Bosco Garelli down to 10 players for the moment. Let's see if Ariola will be able to continue. We are getting some subs ready just in case. We'll keep tabs on that one. Shiraki. Sato. Hartman. Over to Stefan Schrock. Lovely here. Reichelt makes it 3-0 just like that. What a spell.
Really showing their dominance right now. This is the one Taguig team that they want to see. And again, national team player connection. Hartman to Schrock. Schrock to Reichelt. You could see the connection between them, and all it took was that one touch passing that you talk about that is really high level. And then Reichelt, let's talk about that pass. It wasn't the best ball, it was in his direction. He still had to bend forward to just get any decent contact on it.
Been there, done that. When you refer to the three connecting, and I mean this in a good way when I say it, that reminds me of Patrick Reichelt's goal in that same side of Rizal Memorial against Macau. One touch. Not exactly carbon copy, but just extending himself there. One touch.
That is such a high standard that you'd really hope that Philippine football as a whole can emulate. The one-touch passing and really just being brave enough to take it first time.
There's that sense of urgency from Garelli behind Hayato Kame, but they were just overwhelmed. Too fast there. Sato wanted to get it to Sooma. Off they go now on the right. Jerome Barca. It's Hartman also defending himself, putting in the extra work. But off camera, close to the half line, Ariola is down. That's not a good sign. They have subs waiting in the wings again.
parang nahirapan na nga siya to physically recover from his overexertion from earlier. It could still be related to that.
We always mention the likes of Paulo Bugas, Jan Meliza, Nicolas Ferrer, FEU Tamaraos, who got to make their mark here. Over in this new generation of FEU players, you've got Eugene Ariola, just to name a few. And from what we are seeing, Michael Sims is entering for Eugene Ariola. Let's see if they'll put Sims at fullback or on the wing.
Also a natural defender as well, so quite interesting.
There will be a minimum of 4 minutes.
There you go, 4 more minutes. That's confirmed by fourth official Jesus Abogado. It's with Reichelt now, surrounded 1-on-3. Aldeguer, can he secure? It rolls out. He would have liked to make that a corner kick, of course, but nonetheless, they have a 3-0 lead as we speak. And Michael Sims is about to make his way onto the pitch. You could see with his hand signals, they are making those changes here. So they are putting Sims in at left back, and they will move Katarinin forward to left wing.
Looks like they really have to make that adjustment now.
Sims, a player we are familiar with. He was born in Davao, already introduced himself to the Philippine football scene when he was playing with UP. He had stints with Stallion and Maharlika, and recently with Minjola. Sims' nationality here, not just Filipino, but also Jamaican. You gotta run it back though with that hairstyle. That's Jerry Barbaso.
That's the first thing that came to mind when I saw him coming off the bench as well.
I'm gonna say this bago makalimutan natin, but before Naoto Hiraishi changed up his hair, he had a similar hairstyle also. There you go. It's a bit different now though. Sino pa yung mga iconic hairstyles dito?
So far, yung from Cebu, Demiroglu always has that
right.
Fellaini style hair.
Came back for a reason to prove he has the best hairstyle in the PFL. And Naoto there wanted a call in his favor. Off of Daisuke Sato. Never count him out in situations like that. He will always come out of nowhere. Hiraishi. Shiraki. Hartman has space. Knocked it wide. Ali. The cross. Shiraki soaring above. Just punched out here by Ishii. Sato. Is he going to take this? He does. But it ends up as off target.
And again, they just want to keep the pressure going because psychologically it could really have an effect on the morale of the Don Bosco team that's trailing down 3 goals.
An unforced error here from Shotaro Ishii. A goal kick just leading out for a throw-in for Taguig. Clockwork effort here from Taguig. Akoto, one of our goal scorers. 3 goals, 3 goal scorers here again. Sato kicked off the scoring in the 12th minute. Akoto doubled things, of course. Patrick Reichelt made it 3-0 in style. Shower gets the stop. Barca thought twice about going for it. Chupic. A goalkeeper in the disguise of a sweeper. Aldeguer staying calm with the ball. loses it here.
Trying to hang on to it a little bit longer than he needed to and try to be a little bit tricky, but wasn't enough.
Halftime here between One Taguig and Don Bosco Garelli United. It's 3-0. Taguig and their experienced core just dictating this one. From the get-go, you will say they had to weather a number of Garelli counterattacks. But our goal scorers again as we speak. Sato, Akoto, and Reichelt. We'll catch you in a bit after this break. Halftime at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, and it's 3-0 for Taguig over Don Bosco Garelli. Reichelt, Akoto, Sato, your goal scorers as we speak. It's been mainly one-way traffic right here in this matchup, but Garelli did sure pounce in the beginning, but Glenn weren't able to make them count.
Yes, and certainly Don Bosco had some good runs there that you thought that this was going to be another end-to-end game. But so far, One Taguig has been able to step up, shut them down, and keep that confidence level up about this team. And right now, they are leading 3-0. Spectacular fashion, I would say.
It's early on, but Patrick Reichelt sure did put the exclamation point there, as is the case with Daisuke Sato, connecting seamlessly with Stefan Schrock. It was 1-0 at this moment right here. See Banjo Mahina's shot took a deflection also, and Chupic secured that one. Goalkeeper, but he's been playing as that sweeper as of late for them. Here's the goal that made it 2-0. Hartman put it in a dangerous area. He had runners everywhere for One Taguig going for that ball. And here's an opportunity from Naoto Hiraishi. That sailed over. But Sato getting things going for them thanks to his breakthrough goal. Not breakthrough, but the breakthrough goal in this game for One Taguig.
Finally getting some advantage over. And, you know, it kind of gave them this go-ahead that they can open the floodgates after that first goal. And so far, it has been a really difficult task for Don Bosco to tighten up the defense when it comes to being overloaded with players. And that's so far one of the main sources of chances that One Taguig is getting. It's that when they have a lot of players inside that box to overwhelm the defense.
And yes, that is Marcus Haber who kicked off this second half, the former Canadian international with 27 caps and 3 goals. Quite an addition right here. Plenty of experience in Southeast Asia. Plenty of experience right here with the likes of Crew Alexandra, West Brom, Vancouver. A long list here. Quite a CV.
And you could tell that from the players that they've been signing, One Taguig is really bent on taking that first spot from the current defending champions, Kaya. They're breathing down their necks as we speak.
Abarca back on his feet. So Henry Bandikin also checked in here for Milos Chupic. Mahinay, diagonal ball. Akoto. Aldeguer bumped into Michael Sims. Mark Hartman gave it over now. Here comes Haber to chase, drifting out wide. Let's see how he'll adjust, of course, but no stranger again to the ASEAN circuit with what we've mentioned right after his stints here and there with powerhouses over at England. He also played for a great number of teams around Southeast Asia. How do you see things going here with the adjustments of Garelli coming out of the dugout? 3-0, things not going their way.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to be more wary of getting yourselves out of position. Right now, when one Taguig makes that attack, they are really convincing and they don't want to give you any second chances or second guesses there. So you have to make each tackle count.
Bandiki and Akoto actually had to think twice there. That's why they were a bit shaky. But it's a whistle against Garelli. Well, it's Hartman once more. He's been controlling this game, of course, along with his entire crew. This one takes a bounce. Almost a goal here, though, for Haber. Flag raised, though.
Wow, physicality right there. You could just see how determined he was to just head that one in, diving for it, even though there's already a body or two in the way. Let's have a look at that again. Ooh, that was just trying to get it past the keeper.
So Haber was announced as a new signing recently, so this is his debut. So he's not in the team sheet actually here, or was listed as not playing versus Maharlika last February 7. It's one Taguig in blue, Garelli in orange. Onto the right with the Barca. Try to play this one forward to Kai Kimura. So Oma couldn't get it. Lobbed in here. It hit the side of the net. But this is a building block that you will take forward if you are Garelli.
That was the closest chance that they've had all day, and that was delivering that ball so close and beyond the reach of the keeper. That was a near tap in.
Where will you get your goals if you are Garelli? Judging by my records, 3 goals scored so far in this PFL. That's 3 goals in 9 games. Yuta Yamaguchi actually scored in that win of theirs over Valenzuela PB Mindiola. And you have Mbida, who scored versus Mindiola in that win, and then versus Kaya also in one of their losses. But Mbida not on the team sheet here. Questions that need answering.
Well, he's already moved on to another team that played earlier. Mbida is, I think, if memory serves me right, I think I saw him playing for Mendiola earlier against Cebu.
That leaves Yamaguchi as the lone active goal scorer right here for this Garelli squad. But again, what Garelli displayed earlier on the attack, you'll take that as a building block, as a moment that you could use to push the entire team forward. Sato resumes play. Hartman. The diving header to get the stop. Katarinin will push. It's through the middle now. Yamaguchi. Over to the other side. Abarca. Stopped by So. Hayato Kame will send it in. Akoto got the stop. Sato had the intention of setting up a counter-attack.
That was really close for Don Bosco as well. They've almost found their rhythm with a good passage of play. The final piece of that puzzle, though, trying to thread it through the middle.
Just 6 minutes in. It's Katarinin who is down on the ground and appears to be hurt. Let's remember Eugene Ariola had to get subbed off early also. Katarinin will try to shake that one off. But free kick, if you're down, of course, this is an opportunity to get the ball forward with numbers.
Something that you practiced on the training ground, hopefully.
There's the left-footed delivery. Ali unable to get that one. It's wide eventually. But you love the energy that was being displayed by Kai Kimura.
And it's kind of telling us that they are still not quite done this evening.
It's about growing now if you're Garelli. They participated in the previous Copa, which is in 2023. They also participated in the 2024 PFL season. Henry Bandikin resumes play now. It's 3-0 again. Sato opened the scoring. Akoto doubled the lead for them. Patrick Reichelt just gave us a highlight of a goal. Mahinay, also capable of playing that central midfield position. Back to Ishii. Had to release this one. He deflected, but it ended up with Naoto Hiraishi and Daisuke Sato. Reichelt gets it back from Naoto, chested it back. And ends up with Hartman, of course. Seems like Hartman has the gravitational pull of the sun with the way he's been dictating things in this game.
And also, One Taguig, they are playing as if this is still a 0-0 game right now. They are still out for blood despite already being comfortably in front, and they want to end this evening with such a statement.
It's also part of respecting your opponents, of course, giving the full effort from whistle to whistle. As is the case with any team who is trailing. If they're down, they at least show character. Or if they do fall, they go down swinging. Time will tell, of course. Just 9 minutes into the second 45. Forosuelo knocked it back. Akoto. It's true, Hartman once more. Sato. Reichelt. Intercepted now. Yamaguchi. Knocked it back. Abarca. Robbie. There's the UE connection. A diving header from Pete Forosuelo. Sato clears it. Haber will knock it back now. They will get numbers forward, and as I say that, they eventually play it long.
And right now they are just really handling the ball, just trying to keep it really difficult for Don Bosco to at least have a good spell of possession. And at the same time, they really have been pushing themselves harder to score or to add more to the tally this half.
Over to Akoto. They're swinging the ball around, trying to wear down the opponent when you refer to One Taguig. We have a triple sub also waiting in the wings for Don Bosco Garelli. Here's Hiraishi. Reichelt says, be the one to handle the ball. Forosuelo. He'll knock it left to Reichelt. He'll take on Edie. Edie, can he confirm or connect or confirm that stop? Sorry. Foul against Reichelt.
And looks like Edie did the needful there to just keep it away. Reichelt was looming in a dangerous spot.
The long ball of Ishii came off of Sato. Ishii struggling to get distance here with these clearances or these long balls. Hartman had to wiggle his way through. Sims' clearance. Katarini not in the same wavelength as Yuta Yamaguchi. You have changes waiting in the wings for Garelli. You have Bangi, Crawford, and you got Ngai. 3 players will enter here for Coach Mike Vicunalia.
Perhaps injecting some more stamina into certain areas of the field here, hopefully. Because they have been trying to get a grip of this game, and there have been moments where they were able to complete some passes, but when one Taguig moves up against them, gets started easily.
And player number 2, Ian Edie, is replaced by player number 93, Renate Bagi.
This Marian guy also in the game. He jumped ship from Maharlika. He even had a stint in Vietnam. That was with Nam Dinh FC about 4 years back. "13 minutes in, did the pace of this game change of sorts, Glenn? Or is it still the same with the way we ended the first half?"
Well, the aggression certainly hasn't left one Taguig's camp. But right now, they are still looking to really just ruffle the net this second half. And they still haven't done so. Despite seemingly handling the ball more aggressively than they did. But here comes Don Bosco again.
If you put things in perspective, goalless in the second half.
So far.
So far, as we are now approaching the 15th minute of the second half, or 60 minutes into this game overall. Or Claudio also frustrated here. You could see him in the technical area of Garelli. Hartman, Sato. They're not afraid to play the ball back, of course, regardless if that's Chupic or Bandiken.
And that's the confidence that they currently have with the backline that they're employing. Despite of who the goalkeeper it would be, they always are confident that they can get it back.
The give and go couldn't work out. Crawford, to be precise, tried to send it back there. Aldeguer to Reichelt. Haber to Andres. No good in the connection, but it's a corner kick that will go the way of Taguig.
Although, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Kupic had any actual critical saves in the first half as well. So
More of him being the sweeper keeper, handling the ball with his feet, giving them the advantage in numbers at the back. Hartman just takes the slow walk here. Hartman's impact, of course, evident in this game. Just connecting a lot with Stefan Schrack, who stepped off for Marcus Haber.
one Taguig really is spoiled for choice.
Ooh, Keeper couldn't get it. Taguig couldn't capitalize. It's still with them here. There's a defensive header. Reichel tried to go for it, directed it, but lacked power. Ishii hitting it forward now quickly. Crawford couldn't get it. It went to Haber real quick. Reichelt. I think he made the most out of that one with his veteran moves.
And again, another good spot there to just put that ball. And again, Mark Hartman being the go-to specialist in this, he will always have that opportunity to just drive that ball nice and hard right into the sweet spots inside the box. There he is again.
Is he going for a goal? Or is he looking to set up a teammate? You be the judge.
Looks like he's gonna go for it. Ooh.
Try to go for the assist. The intention was to connect with Haber. And Guy getting it now. Just got this one into Bandigan's goalkeeper box, which he comfortably collected.
Crawford was at a good spot there, just asking for the ball. If it was delivered well, could have put him in space.
Here's Hartman. Aldeguer, can he meet this, or will it go the way of Michael Sims? He brings in that energy. Sims again, that early sub. He came on again for the hurt Eugene Ariola. Flag raised here, though, one of the few offside calls in this game. It's 3-0 again. All goals did come in the first half. Daisuke Sato started things off strong. He drew first blood in the 12th minute. Frank Akoto made it 2-0. Patrick Reichelt made it 3. That gives Taguig a sizable cushion.
The main difference between this half and the first, Stefan Schrock. He has been involved in all 3 goals, connecting at least one in one of them and providing the assist. So far, being replaced in the second half, they have put in a lot of aggression, but not the finesse.
So yes, we did get to confirm Andres Aldeguer was given a yellow card. Sauce ball was taking flight. Hartman had to shield his eyes, of course, with the floodlights. Things getting physical here between Ingai and Akoto. It's the last game of our Sunday triple header here again. No clean sheet yet today so far. Will want Taguig change that narrative? With the results earlier, Kaya defeated Tuloy 9-1. Stalin Laguna fought back to salvage a 1-1 draw versus Maharlika. That draw between mid-table teams, Stalin and Maharlika, favor the top teams essentially, such as Kaya, Taguig, Cebu, and Digger. They get a bit of a cushion now with teams 5, 6, and 7.
So that only means that we could pretty much divide the whole table into 3. The top 4 trying to vie for position, the mid-table trying to keep themselves in the second for the third round, and lastly, the ones at the bottom just trying to get themselves used to this league. But let's have a look at that again. A bit of aggression there, and I think that was a bit of a shove. Yes, and the referee saw it really clearly and no hesitation grabs a card. Minute na ang ulo ni Crawford.
So Oma also showing us his game face. And because of the win earlier of Cebu, they are provisionally in second place. Pressure is on Taguig to get this win so that they could retake second spot. But at the end of the championship round, which we did speak about, spots to play international club football will be awarded. Here comes Reichelt trying to circle around, took a bit of a fall. You think the pitch is still a bit slippery from the rain we had right before the second game. But mind you, it is the third game already. Pangatlong laro.
But that rain was a little bit heavy
It was a
earlier.
heavy but quick one.
Yeah. Gone are the days when the Rizal Memorial Stadium would be flooded with a lot of water when it comes to heavy rains.
Dahil nga natin, Glenn, it's not yet rainy season. Here we go. We are off to the races. It's with Barca taking on Forosuelo. Akoto just denying that ball to Ingay.
And we thought that that was the one that would finally keep the momentum going of no clean sheets allowed tonight. But looks like Taguig still has something up for grabs here, aside from the 3 points.
Let's remember that narrative we were talking about in terms of no clean sheet yet in this triple header. So for games in Rizal Memorial, but Cebu did get a clean sheet versus Valenzuela PB Menjola. Crawford also with a booking in this game. Corner, it's sent in. Guy. Garelli whistled for a foul with that corner from Michael Broby, looking dangerous.
And again, there are some moments of good opportunity for Don Bosco to really show that they could still put the ball in dangerous areas and give a little scare. But it's always the finishing that's making it difficult for them to take advantage.
Patrick Reichelt will call it a day after 69 minutes, and the goal, he will step off for Isaac Aguiemang.
Is replacement player number 71, Isaac Aguiemang.
Isaac Aguiemang is from Ghana. You'll take this, of course, if you are Garelli. No goals conceded yet so far in the second half. If you are Taguig, do you have to be concerned? Yes, you are protecting the 3-0 lead, but you have nothing to show in this second half.
It could also be because of some adjustments that they've made that made it difficult for them.
Here's the tackle from Makoto. Did shake up Katarinin. Shot here. Van Decken got to save. It was straight to him. Katarinin is holding on to his right.
Ooh, you don't like it when players clutch their knees like that. But sometimes it could just be fatigue. It could just be something unfortunate. But look at that. I think there was contact knee to knee.
It was quite a landing also. That fall also knocked the wind out of Katarinin. But from what I saw also, I'm hoping it is just cramps after the hard fall.
But again, cramps is usually a sign of either exerting yourself really hard for this particular game, or that there is some looming fitness issues, which we don't blame most of the teams in the bottom half of the table, because that is one of the things that we've noticed, that in the first half they would come out guns blazing. They'd have this ability to perhaps do a surprise or two, but come the final 20 minutes, 10 minutes of the game, that's when you'd see them failing.
You see these teams higher in the table, they'd wear down the opposing teams. And yes, it's already February. Maybe there are still some heavy legs from the holiday season. Easier said than done to stay in shape.
That I'd agree.
Stay in shape, what more? Match fitness, a different level.
I mean, going to the gym, you doing your usual routines, that's one way to keep the fitness, but match fitness is something altogether.
Action on the right. Taguig will reset. 3-0 again as we speak. "47 goals scored so far for Taguig in this season." Haber showing us his ability there. Flick the ball out even if it is already out of bounds.
Meron pa rin konting natitirang giggle from him right now because I think you want to impress in your debut match, and I don't blame him for being all aggressive right now, but again, trading him in for Stefan Schrock, it kind of reduced their ability to be more precise with the passes.
You put in an attacking player for a midfielder, but Haber in his first or second play in this game came up with a diving header and forced Shotaro Ishii to come up with a save. Less than 20 minutes remaining now until stoppage time in this game. Don Bosco Garelli in orange and black. Taguig in blue.
Might be too early to say right now, but compared to the other teams on the bottom half of the table, they are the ones who are getting the least punishment right now, Don Bosco.
At this point in time, do you think about damage limitation? Or do you just think about getting another goal here? Or do you just think about getting a goal to spoil the clean sheet of your opponents?
The mindset should always be play to win. I mean, until the final whistle has been blown, dapat your whole objective should always be to try and win this game, no matter how difficult it is.
Yora Ishii again was able to recover against a number of dribbles. Aldeguer forward. Sato switching it here, gets it to Haber, chested it, taking on Traore.
Looks like Haber's over-aggression has been called as a foul this time.
He was a bit livid there.
Welcome
To the Philippines, where football is tropical.
Player number 16, Michael Robey, is replaced by player number 17.
Look at that.
Ernest
Aggression there, trying to get his arm. But yeah, you could really see that the arm was a bit too high there and into the face of his defender.
Robbie steps off for Ernest Quay. One foreign player out, one foreign player in. The rules again here, you're allowed to have 5 players on the pitch, plus 1 goalkeeper. Both teams utilizing foreign keepers. Centres Aldeguer down on the ground, and a yellow issue to Quay. Just seconds within his entry to the game.
Looks like he came in as a man with a mission here to maybe tip the scales in Don Bosco's favor.
So with a yellow now, Quay will have to tread that fine line. Hartman keen on adding another assist to his tally. You still have to give him credit in situations where he does not assist, but passes to the assist. Here's a header that stopped. You thought that was good actually for Akoto. Also denied at point blank. Quite a save from Shotaro Ishii.
Yeah, and the delivery was really good there. You could see it went into his attacker's head, but Ishii was just quick to it. And that secondary attempt by Akoto, it was straight at Ishii. He didn't even have to move out of the way.
When you have these deliveries from Hartman, it already goes without saying that it is quality. But amidst that quality delivery, there's a foul whistled that will go the way here of Garelli. You gotta take the stops, of course, that you can. We are also seeing Diego Espiras and Kurt Dizon making their way back to the bench from the warm-up area. Will they be making an entry into this game? We'll find out, of course, in a bit. Chested by Aldeguer. Hit off to the side. See Hayato Kame's influences dwindled a bit in this game. Hiraishi in the middle. Agyemang on an island, 1-on-3. Mahinay with the clearance.
The defensive shape coming from Don Bosco right now, putting 5 people in a line there. They, I think, have finally made a difference in overcoming that overflow that Juan Taguig has been doing. But again, there's still this missing piece with the passes that we haven't seen. We see Mark Hartman doing the deliveries, but Mark Hartman is only one piece of the puzzle.
Is replaced by player number 19, Kurt Dizon.
Talk about quality here. Dizon and Espiras off the bench. This is Diego Espiras' debut with Juan Taguig. As this one is just wide, Ishii just tried to make himself big to get that stop. But going back, this is the debut of Diego Espiras with Juan Taguig, and the first half of the season. Yes, with Aguilas, Yumak FC saw regular minutes in midfield. Kurt Dizon in that long list of former Philippines internationals with experience overseas.
Ooh, trying something different this time from the corner, nice and low.
I was going to ask actually if Hartman intended that.
It looks like there's another chance there, perhaps to try again, and this time a little higher. Oh no, they still take it low.
Not low now, but short. They eventually whip it in. Off the head of Haber, from what I am seeing. Kurt Dizon, first touches in the game. Was unable to neutralize that ball. 10 minutes remaining here in regular time. 3 goals again of Juan Taguig. All came in the first half for those who just tuned in again. Daisuke Sato, Frank Okoto, and Patrick Reichelt. They all got to contribute 1 each.
And truth be told, this is a good showing here from Don Bosco in the second half by just being firm, because we've not seen any shortage of attacks coming from Juan Taguig. They really have even stepped it up, I think, when it comes to the quantity.
In perspective again, it's 0-0 in the second 45. But there's Juan Taguig imposing their control in the midfield. I'd like to remind you, of course, that Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the PFL. Also give us a follow on TikTok, _WeArePFL_. And thank you for joining us on our Facebook and YouTube pages for our live stream. This is Claro Manzano alongside Glenn Casas. Espiras, the loose touch, letting him down. But this one in, guy wanted to blast this one.
He thought he saw that there was a slither of opportunity there while Badenkin was offline.
Well, you missed the shots you don't take, as we know. Espiras just slid to put it forward. This ball just gifted back to Henry Bandiken. They'll try to build up now with Sato. Forosuelo called for it because he had space. Hartman. Haber. There's also a Gyemang to support. Cross whipped in. And Ishii needs this one well.
Trying to anticipate that run. Coming from one Taguig, just putting a stop to it. Hiraishi was in a threatening position.
Sato showing us his craftiness. It's Crawford there. Trying to put the pressure on Henry Van de Ken. And effectively, Garelli with a throw in. Do you expect extra aggression from our two teams as we have about 7 minutes remaining until additional time? And given the contrasting circumstances.
It's still far from over from what I can see. The last 7 minutes could really push a team to do a little bit extra now that the end is nearing them. And again, Don Bosco could still spoil the party, the clean sheet, for one Taguig, provided that one Taguig don't let up their aggression as well, because that has given Don Bosco some opportunities for a counter whenever one Taguig pushes a lot of people forward.
Well, you saw, of course, one Taguig had to deal with that high press from Garelli. It's with now to Hiraishi, close to playing the full 90 here. Gives the cross. Haber gave it over. Shot misses though here from Agyemang.
One of the late entrants to this game, Agyemang just couldn't. He has time there. I think nobody was closing in on him, so he could have taken an extra touch before putting it into the back of the net. But right now, he just took it first time.
And with this impending result, one Taguig will end this match day as a number 3. There's a bit of a threat again because Cebu did win earlier. One Taguig had to win this game just to ensure that Cebu would not leapfrog them in the standings.
But again, you also have to remember that they have a few games at hand as well. So despite the current appearance of the league table, there are still some teams who don't have the same advantage, and despite that, is still in a good position.
This ball over to no man's land. Time continues to tick here. Oh, this one just rolling out. Garelli, we're looking to come up with something on the wing. Less than 5 minutes remaining here until this result is eventually made official. Will Taguig add another one for the road? Will Garelli spoil the clean sheet?
Well, the 3 points is almost guaranteed at this point for one Taguig, but that clean sheet, no, it's still, we still have a lot of time, and there is still a lot of energy coming. You know, as compared to the other lower half teams that we've seen this afternoon, this evening, it seems that Don Bosco still has some energy left in them. They still have some aggression in the tank despite being 3 goals down.
Gotta applaud character, of course, at the end of the day. Giving your full effort, the full 90 or whistle to whistle. Ilava Daisuke Sato is just laser focused, even with them leading 3-0. Crawford got tangled up with Akoto. Referee Chris Milkayab said there is no foul. Akoto was dispossessed. Sato's press is just enough to win possession back. He didn't have to do anything there, but with his presence, of course, he's getting the job done and just making a bit of that run or that lunge. You get what I'm saying, right?
It's like an unforced error, but it's still forced.
Sato just tried to get maybe a yard of that throw in.
And that one extra yard further could put themselves in a better position, but still the ball is going back the other direction. And again, it's set pieces like these that could really open up the defense out of the blue. So they have to make it count. It has to land in a good spot where someone can either pull the trigger or do a pass. Everyone should be alert.
Here's Mahinay with the forward ball. Bandican called to action. Just knocked to the back here by Aspiras. Hartman knocked it wide. Hiraishi. He'd rather have the ball on the side as opposed to the center, of course. Thought Naoto was going to break free.
Quiet, just bursting with speed there, trying to get everything done as quick as he can.
Go forward from Katarinin. Aspiras sending it to safety. Agyemang has his chance to push. Haber is looking forward. He is lurking rather. There's Hiraishi on the left. Kurt Dizon on the right. Here's the former Canadian international. Haber gets a corner kick right here for Taguig. You can see they are in cruise control, of course, in this ball game.
Right now, it's coming to a stage where they can lift off the gas a little bit now that it's just about closing the game out and just keeping things safe for all the players, because they still have other matches to remember.
Taguig keen on adding one more for the road. Garelli will look to unleash now. Off the stop. Defense to offense. Here's Aspiras with his work cut out, taking on this Monian guy. Ali hoping to get the stop, and there's Bandican also. One of the biggest saves here in that game. Garelli out to spoil the clean sheet and get a consolation goal. Seconds away from additional time.
There will be a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 minutes here, confirmed by Jesus Abogado, our fourth official. Kurt Dizon now playing on the left wing. Looks for friends. We'll get it over to Hartman. His ball came off the iconic hairstyle of Michael Sims. My apologies if I'm not so sure about the name of that type of hairstyle.
I think that's just someone who's done a ponytail, but it's so curly, it has his own attitude.
There you go. Kasi hindi siya man bun eh, di ba?
Yeah, I think man bun is when you tie it twice yata eh.
Yeah, this one a bit different.
And again, the aggression just never stops from Don Bosco. You see them trying to push that ball forward, hoping that somebody would get to it, and what the gig just chasing after it in an attempt to block it so that they can keep it this direction.
Hartman carried it on now to Sato. Daisuke the cross. Here's a header, but it's off target. Almost, but not quite here for Isaac Agyemang.
And you thought that Agyemang finally got Ishii off position. Have a look at this. Nice delivery. Agyemang finds Ishii early to the mark and could have just nudged that ball towards the right direction. Didn't need power because there was no one chasing that. But instead goes for sideways movements.
I just recalled another iconic hairstyle. He's back in the PFL, of course. Once played for Cebu. He's now with Stallion. He was listed as not playing today. He was at the stadium. Zamorano Hoatam. He has the Allen Iverson-like braids. Iconic din yun, of course.
It's always like there's some sort of battle of hairstyles going on as well in the PFL.
Always. They'll cycle it at the back. Hartman, that guiding force here amidst the changes for Taguig, or the substitutions made here and there, as is the case with Daisuke Sato. Now to Hiraishi, piling up the pressure like this game just started, of course. It shows his fitness level. Ospira's over-aggressive there. Play this one. Ali just wins it, gets it to Wakoto. Hartman from Sato. Can they get this one to Haber? It's the option also to get to Kurt Dizon. Takes it inside here. Hiraishi. Ooh, up now. What a save again from Ishii. He's come up with a number of saves from point blank.
He is on fire this second half. And you can see that was a very lethal delivery there. It cuts across the face. Hiraishi puts it back. And then, quick split-second reaction. He knows that he was going to shoot, so he's diving for it by the time that he makes contact with the ball.
Here's another chance now. Just saved at the goal line by Traore. Hartman once more. Keeper punched it out. Gets back on his feet. Past the 4th minute already here.
Wow, would you believe that this is still a goalless second half?
Ishii wanting to ensure that, of course. But that is the full-time whistle eventually here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. 3-0. Would you say Taguig frustrated not as they're unable to add a goal in that second half?
True, and not only was there frustration, but at the same time, you could see the determination coming from the Don Bosco defense to keep things tight. And as much as possible, you don't want a keeper making critical saves, but Ishii did his job so well.
Still have to give credit, of course, to Garelli for being able to execute the changes that they made at halftime. It's 3-0 again, thanks to the first half goals of Daisuke Sato. He started things off strong, and there was Koto also to double the lead, and eventually Patrick Reichel to make it 3-0 there. That's a look at the opening goal, but we'll sign off from this one before we head over to our man of the match interview. This is Clara Manzano alongside Glenn Casas. It ends once more. Taguig 3, Don Bosco Garelli United 0.
Here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila, and for watching us via live stream as we end right now our Sunday triple header in your Philippines Football League 2025 to 2026 season. Again, we thank you all for your attendance and hope you enjoyed the matches as much as we did. We encourage you to visit the official Facebook, Instagram, and X pages of the Philippines Football League with the handle @WeArePFL for more details on the Philippines Football League 2025 to 2026 season. That's it. See you, football fans, and good night. We are PFL.
Hi, congratulations on the win. What are your thoughts about the game?
We are a bit slow. How we started was a bit slow. Happy with the 3 points, but not satisfied with the way we play in some moments. But then overall, I'm very happy with the 3 points
What do you think went well with the game, and how do you plan to move forward given the result?
I mean, we did it well, score a couple goals from the set pieces. We could have done better with more connection play. But then we have many weapons all over the pitch. We maximize it, and especially now, many new players that give us more threat in our team. So looking forward to the next game.
Okay. Lastly, any message for the fans?
We are in the right track. Keep supporting us. We are going full 100% all the way until the end of the season. Hopefully we can satisfy you guys. Hopefully we can get the title that we are hoping for. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.